Hello and welcome to the Experiencing Love podcast. I'm your host, Philip Jacks, and I'm so glad that you're here. I woke up today, well rested, ready for what already seems like a beautiful day, preparing for what's going to be another very fun, exciting, and hectic week. I'm volunteering as a crew member for another seminar because I've learned that repetition truly is the mother of mastery, and that having this spaced repetition where I take a few months to live my life and then I return to some experience, to some way to immerse myself, it brings me back to remembering, to seeing why I do what I do. In this event, I know there's going to be so many lessons that I've heard many times before, and so many that even though I've heard them, I'll hear them in a different way. I'll hear exactly what I'm meant to hear. I'll learn exactly what I'm meant to learn. Because even though I'm going there to serve and to support, in life, when you show up to serve, you have the opportunity to learn your most important lessons, the ones that otherwise you can't learn. In a way, it's your own gift for giving back to the world. And it'll be an opportunity to connect with many of my friends that I've made over the past year through these different events, through these different experiences. Maybe I might not see them directly, but I'll connect with them on the side knowing that we are sharing yet another experience. So I was just taking a moment to think before, to collect myself, and I realized that the purpose today is preparation, being ready for what's to come. Because I also know that as soon as the event ends, I have many plans in place, and I want to be ready to hit the ground running. That'll be, of course, after I take a rest day, because volunteering for these events can have a toll on the body physically, and also emotionally. It's just such a high state that it's almost like I need to come down for a minute or two to just recollect myself. So I usually spend 1 to 2 days just resting. I'll still be doing this podcast throughout the event and after. But apart from that, I'm not going to be doing much. I'll probably be going to the gym, or I'll just be doing things that make me feel well, And then after that, yes, I will hit the ground running with all my plans for this month, and I'm excited for it. With the whole idea of spaced repetition on my mind, I think that's also why I plan to do those fasts that I did a couple weeks ago. I say a couple, but I think at this point it was a month ago now. And I think the reason being is that it reminds me of why I choose to eat the way I do. And I think each time I do this spaced repetition, I build up my tolerance afterwards to not fall back into old habits. My discipline lasts longer before a slip up. And I'm learning that with discipline, it's not about being perfect. It's really about never giving up, never quitting, in the sense that you don't stop because you slip up. You don't stop because it's hard. You keep pushing and you keep going until you learn the lesson you're meant to learn, and then you keep going past that. So there's been many of my disciplines recently that I started to slip up on, and I learned lessons from it, because the things that I choose to be disciplined about aren't nonsense. They aren't just random things that I wanted to try. It's things that I knew helped me have a better day, helped me feel better throughout the day. And I immediately felt myself having worse days when I stopped doing those things. Because I don't know if this ever happens for you, but I get these experiences where I will start a habit and I will feel the great effects from that habit. But then I start attributing the feelings of whatever's going on to myself rather than the habit. So I think, oh, I'm creating these emotions, I'm creating these feelings. I don't know why I'm still journaling every night. And then I have this rude awakening where I stop journaling because I think I'm still going to feel really great. And I realize that, oh no, it was the emotions I get from journaling, from being able to release myself there. At the end of my meditation today, right before recording this, I looked at my bookshelf. I was just counting all the books that I had, and I noticed this book that I haven't looked at in maybe 2 years. And it wasn't even a book, it was a tiny journal. I haven't looked at this journal in 2 years, and I thought it was just another empty journal, so I grabbed it off the shelf to see what was I writing inside of it. And I opened it up, and I realized this wasn't just a regular plain journal. This was one of those prompt journals where it has a bunch of stuff for me to write about. And it being 2 years later, not having looked at it, I'm amazed by how much of this journal I'm living in my life. Again, even though I haven't looked at it since then. I'm just flipping through the pages now, and the very first pages of my writing, I see in big letters the word love. It's in this section called the Scribble Zone, and I was just writing words, and connected to the word love, I see share it, follow it, spread it, teach it, embrace it, accept it, invite it, understand it, learn from it. I have people, I have my family, myself, my friends, strangers, enemies. I have other things like fight fear with love, take the first step with love, making mistakes with love. And connected to making mistakes, it says, are they big ones or small ones? And either way, well, am I still breathing? So try again. And on the bottom of the page in big letters, it just says, conquer everything with love. This was 2 years ago, before I learned most of what I know today in terms of personal development and about myself. There's other pages that say, I will no longer tolerate sitting back watching the world move on around me. I will no longer tolerate inaction. We truly create the world that we want to live in. We are the creators of our world. And life is happening for us, not to us. If you have some aspect of your life that's working, it's because you created it. You brought that into your life because you wanted it. And by the same virtue, if you have something in your life that's not working, that doesn't make you feel great, well, the hard truth is that you created that too. You brought that into your life too. And this part's going to sound weird. You wanted that too. And there could be many reasons for it. Because although maybe it doesn't make you feel great on the surface, it fulfills one of your many needs, your deeper psychological needs. You created that aspect of your life because it actually does give you something that you truly want, something deep inside you. Maybe it's love, maybe it's attention, recognition, maybe it's certainty or excitement, variety, spicing up your life. But we create the lives that we want. And when life happens for us, it's because life is what gives us what we need. We may want recognition or attention, and life will see that what we need is to learn a lesson. So it'll give us the wrong form of that recognition, that attention. It'll give us the wrong form of love, the one that actually doesn't help us grow and build into who we're meant to become, but may feel like it tears us down. And the reason being is we created what we want. Life gives us what we need. When you learn the lesson that life's trying to teach you, you will still get what you want. You will just get the better form of it, the better version, the upgrade, the next level. That goes for finances, that goes for relationships, that goes for your health, goes for your career, your mission. Everything in your life is exactly how you want it. It's exactly how you want it right now, and there's nothing you can do to change the present moment because the present moment is always happening. But what you might say to yourself is, I want to change the future. And maybe you looking at your life right now is exactly what life has given you, an opportunity to examine yourself and to say, okay, I'm ready to level up. These are hard words even for me to hear because I look at the current circumstances of my life and even I'm saying to myself, what do you mean that I want this, that I'm supposed to have this? And in a way, I honestly have to admit the truth in those statements that I have this life that isn't serving me, but in a way it is. Although it's uncomfortable, it's also familiar. It's giving me a pseudo sense of comfort. And changing and growing and taking the next steps does require courage and bravery. And sometimes I have it, and sometimes I don't. I can command it for a bit, and then if I just let my subconscious go, sometimes it chooses that familiarity over growth. I don't know. So I need to acknowledge that the life that I have, I've created. I am the creator of my own life. And life is happening for me. You can't have one without the other. I've created this and it's happening for me. So that if I want something different, I need to create something different and see that whatever happens along the way, it's happening for me. To learn, to grow, to enjoy, to celebrate. I'm gonna go spend the rest of this day filled with love, filled with action, preparing for this beautiful week to come. And I thank you for being here. Remember to always fill up with the love, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. I love you.